What's going on, crew? Day two of the NBA playoffs, and DraftKings got this special Easter contest where you can win 100K. So I'm trying to get my hand in that 100K tonight. All right. Quick recap of last night. So the lineup with Kawhi in it actually did better. So shout out to the people who love Kawhi. And you guys said it right, man. Paul George and Kawhi got the same amount of points, and one was thousands of dollars cheaper. Kawhi was 8,500. Paul George was about 10K. So not playing Paul George yesterday would have probably helped. Shout out to some of these guys that did real well, man. Chris Paul I had in that Kawhi lineup. He did very well for us. Mark Gasol, who saw that? What I realized is Serge Ibaka is the center for Toronto Raptors, okay? They'll start Valanciunas, but he probably won't even finish the game. He's not really doing much. His offense, they're not looking for him. And Lowry said in an interview that Valanciunas' production is going to come off of offensive board and putbacks and whatnot, which means that the team is not really drawing up a lot of plays for him. So I think it's fair to say that we got to leave Valanciunas alone at this point, right? All right. Greg Monroe showed up. Joe Johnson on that big game-winning shot. He did well. Lance Stevenson, I was big on Lance, just couldn't fit him in. He did very well. Tony Snell, I knew will do okay for his price because of the minutes, and he had 7 to 8 times value yesterday. And then some disappointments from my lineup. Mike Conley, he had 30 in the first half and then 7 in the second half. Shout out to the Spurs, man. A lot of teams need an extra game or get a day off in between to adjust, but the Spurs adjust in game, and that's huge. Jamal Crawford didn't get as much run. And then Zach Randolph and Paul Gasol, that game got out of hand. The bench really didn't get involved. I'm going to try to stay away from bench players moving forward. And I do have to go, so I'm not going to be able to spend too long on him. I'm just going to preview my lineup for today. I'm going to try to get back in time to do a live show. I got to go to church with the family and do the Easter thing, but I'm going to try to get back in time and do a live show because there's some stuff that we need to know. We need to know if Isaiah Thomas is playing, and we need to know if Nurkic is playing. But for right now, this is a safe lineup that I like a lot. Damian Lillard has been absolutely on fire. He's averaging 64 points in the last 10 days. Whenever he gets on the court, man, he's burning it up. I think he looks to continue staying hot against Golden State. It's a tougher matchup for him. I'm not too enthusiastic about Lillard. But there's not many options. I mean, I can go Steph Curry instead of Dame Lillard, but Steph Curry has other options on his team. There's still Draymond, there's still Clay, there's still Durant. It's just Lillard and maybe McCollum for scoring. So in a position like that, I think Lillard is going to have the ball in his hand way too much not to play him. And he's heating up, man. He's shown that he can do well for his team. For 9K, I'm comfortable with Lillard. And then Victor Oladipo has had very well success against this team in 4 games. He's averaging 35. If I get 35 from him, I'm happy. It's a up-paced game. Pat Beverly's going to exhaust himself trying to control Russ Westbrook, and I think that's going to allow Oladipo to do his thing. All right. So I like Oladipo in this game. KD is just way too cheap at 8,800. I think he'll drop 50. Draymond, again, I think he can get into the 40s against a team in Portland which are limited for bigs. The reason I wanted the Nurkic news is because if Nurkic is playing, I might not like Draymond as much. I don't think it makes a big difference. Gortat with Mahinmi has been taking a lot of minutes from Gortat coming down the stretch. And similar to Valanciunas, Gortat is a risk because we know that he has not been getting minutes. The reason I'm comfortable with Gortat today is because Mahinmi has already been ruled out. So I think that even if they don't want to, they have to give Gortat these minutes. And Gortat with minutes, we know we can get around 30. For 4K, pretty safe play. Rondo against Boston is a dream come true. He's been hot. I think he's going to get 35 minutes. And with those type of minutes, Rondo can get you into the 40s and 50s. Aminu is a play that I love only if Nurkic is out again. So that Nurkic news is going to be big. But even if Nurkic does play, I think Aminu's still pretty safe at 5K. I think we can expect mid 20s. But if the news come out before lock that Nurkic will play, I might pivot off of Aminu, depending on how I feel. And then Steven Adams. I was stuck between Steven Adams. I definitely wanted one of these bigs from OKC. I was stuck between Adams and Cantor. I ended up going Adams only because he starts and he's cheaper. So if you're gonna start and be cheaper, then I'll go ahead and take you. But I think Adams is in a good spot today. We know that Adams during the playoff is a different type of machine. We saw that last year. So this is the lineup that I went with. I think you guys should play with confidence. I feel pretty good about it. All right. See what you guys talking about. Mamba says we will have a better night tonight. I definitely agree. Definitely agree. Never roster and Lowry again. Yeah, Lowry's not a guy I would roster against. It depends on the matchup. Don't say never, Van Negro. It's very matchup dependent. Roster Lowry against the team that you should, not against Milwaukee. Milwaukee will shut him down, as we saw, and it will happen. Milwaukee plays defense at the point guard position. Both Brogdon is pretty good on the D, and then and Antetokounmpo is the man. So you gotta look at matchups, okay? You gotta look at matchups. With Wade playing, will Rondo have Rondo's the point guard? With Wade playing, it's just more opportunity for him to rack up some assists. I think they rely on Rondo heavy today to run the ball because he can. They've been trying to play him all season, and when they exclude him, they lose. When they include him, they win. So now when it's time to win, I think the coach wakes up and stop this. I don't know what he think that he's doing, but he's gonna stop that stuff, man. I think he's gonna I think that the coach comes together and let Rondo be a point guard. I think Rondo triple doubles game one. That's just a bold prediction that I'm willing to make. I don't see why he can't get rebounds. I don't see why he's not going to get assists, and I think 10 points is easy for Rondo. So I think Rondo's looking at a triple double tonight. All right. The problem with Lowry is that he's not healthy. Yeah, and he has a bad matchup. So yeah, I wasn't big. I didn't even consider Lowry. If you saw my videos, I didn't even think about Lowry yesterday. I was 100% fade off that. Milwaukee will do that to you. I never was going to roster Lowry, Irving, and Paul. We're only like 200 more on FD. Exactly. We had Chris Paul. Why even think about Lowry? So that's it, guys. I'm going to go ahead and put on my nice little suit and go to church, do the little family thing. And hopefully I can be back before lock and get you guys that fire that you like. All right? Peace.